In today's poetry lesson, we're going to be taking a look at another poem that mimics what William Carlos Williams did in The Red Wheelbarrow. By the way, don't forget to memorize that poem for extra credit. If you've got it memorized and you want that extra credit now and you don't want to wait until we return to school, reach out to me. I'll do a private meet with you. You can recite it to me and I can mark those extra points in my grade book. Anyway, back to today's lesson, we're going to be reading another poem that was written in the style of William Carlos Williams. This poem was written by a 7th grader named Nora, and the thing that she looked for ideas in was the first watermelon feast of the season on her family's back deck in the summer. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up the poem, and I will read it to you. Watermelon. Watermelon. I watched Mom cut 5 slices, then take the largest and reddest. When I sink my teeth into solid juice, the melon squirts its fireworks. I swallow a seed. That's one I won't spit into the bowl beyond the deck railing. When I finish the delightful redness, I throw the green rind to Hobo, who waits his turn. He grabs the crust in his mighty jaws and runs away with its sweetness. Today, when you go back into this poem on your own, I want you to make note of or highlight and comment the words or phrases that allow you to perceive what Nora is describing. So what that means is the words that allow you to taste or touch, like the feeling, or the things that you can see. So we're looking at sensory language, but we're looking at what that sensory language allows us to do, which is to imagine things or to see what she's describing. And when we're able to see what the poet is describing, then our imagination starts supplying details that aren't on the page, which is what William Carlos Williams did. And so if I were going back into this poem, I might take a look at this right here, these words, 5 slices, because that allows me to see how many slices there are. I can see this. The other thing that I can see is the bowl, and I can see the knife that she's using, and I can hear the sound that a watermelon makes when you slice into it. And none of those details are really there. It's just because she gives me the detail, my brain latches on to that, and then it starts building from that. So I went up here and I clicked the add comment button, and I'm going to write a rough day for spelling today, huh? So I typed, I can see this. I can also see the bowl and the knife her mom is using, as well as hear the sound. So I just kind of want you to go through and approach that task in that way. So anything that allows you to see it, anything that allows you to hear it or taste it or feel it. I would probably highlight something along these lines also, just because when I think about eating watermelon, I think about 1, what kind of clothes am I wearing because I'm not wearing a white shirt because I'm just going to drip juice all down the front of myself. When you bite into that watermelon, that juice squirts out and most of it gets in your mouth, but if you're eating wedges, then you're going to get some down in your face also. So when she was describing that in the first stanza, I could feel that. That's my sense of touch. So I would probably comment on that also. Also, I would probably talk about how refreshing watermelon is in the summertime, how it tastes cool and refreshing and sweet, but not too sweet. I would talk about all of those things, and then you can just continue in that manner in each stanza, sensory words that allow you to be there because you can see, because you can taste, because you can hear, because you can touch. I don't know that there are any smells in this poem, but if there were, that would just add to the completeness of the experience. The other thing that I would like for you to analyze for is the diction, which is a fancy word for the language that Nora chooses to use to describe this watermelon feast. So I think that words like squirts, it's fireworks. I think that's a really, really awesome way to describe the watermelon juice and the taste. So I would say something like, these words create a powerful description of what happens when you bite into a watermelon, a piece of watermelon. So I would hit the comment button. And then go ahead and tell me what else you see. You can highlight if you want, or you can just simply add a comment that isn't tied to a specific part of the poem. But for me, when I read this, I put myself on my grandparents' back deck because that's where we would always eat watermelon when we were kids. And when she talks about Hobo running away with the crust in his mighty jaws, I see a brown and white boxer, running away with a watermelon rind in his mouth. It doesn't say it's a boxer, but it says it has mighty jaws. So my mind just jumps to the conclusion that it's a boxer. You might see a different type of dog. So if you notice things like that, because your imagination is just supplying you with those details, go ahead and add a comment about those things as well. I think that's it for today's poem. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out and let me know. And then, guys, do not forget to hit the turn in button when you're finished. Love and miss you guys, and I hope I see you soon.